I was a psychotherapist. Well, actually, I was a social worker. I understand you're a social worker. I love social work. I love the rest of you too. Special affinity for social work. I was a gang worker actually in New York City. I worked on 103rd Street, 3rd Avenue. I don't know if you know the area, but it's a pretty rough area. I worked there for about a year, but it was terrifying, so I decided to go into education because it was scary out there. So I went into education, and then for some strange reason, I wanted to become a therapist, and I took further training at Rutgers and so on. And I did that for 10 years, and the people were driving me crazy, so I came back to education. I don't know how. I took a night course because I decided one day I wanted to get into college. Actually left college because I didn't like college for a year, and then I went back, and then after that, the breeze. Went right straight through, no problems at all. I think that, I'm not proud of that, but I'll tell you one thing, I got great insights into how people handle problems. For me, it was just isolation. Just put them in a room with a big guy. I had for 3 years, when I was in school, my text for language arts was Reader's Digest. That's all they gave me. That's all I read. So my vocabulary improved tremendously, but other than that, it was kind of shallow. I think that we all bring experiences like this to education, and the stories that I've heard, doing workshops around the country or keynotes or whatever, I find that a lot of people, if I ask you right now, do you remember a teacher that wasn't so nice in school growing up? I get a lot of hands, and all these people go into education for some strange reason. So, and the other hand too, did you have a great teacher? That also is extremely influential. So, I don't feel sorry for myself and regret the experiences I had. And if I told you what they were, your hair would stand up. But that has given me, a different perspective about working in schools with kids who are really struggling. And that's all we do right now. We work in a lot of poor districts, in not only New Jersey, but outside of New Jersey. Kids who are really struggling. A lot of rural schools where kids are struggling. A lot of the conditions that are around these kids aren't so nice. And they really impact on how kids do, particularly if you're from poverty. And we'll be talking more about that this afternoon when my partner gets here, Sharon. So what I hope to do today is to give you a perspective from the child's point of view. How does it feel? This afternoon we're going to be doing some very interesting exercises to let you actually feel what it feels like to be one of these kids. That's how we structured the workshop. The other thing I have to tell you, either like what you do in education or you don't. There are teachers that don't like what they do in schools. And everyone knows who they are. They can't hide. And so you have two choices when you wake up in the morning. Here's your first choice. You jump out of bed and you go, ooh, I can't wait to get to those kindergarten kids. I love those kids. And you start getting dressed and, you're in the car and you're putting the lipstick on. I love these kids. They're wonderful. That's one point of view. That's one perspective that you have. Here's the other one. You could get out of bed and go, oh, well, another crappy day in ecstasy, all right? Go to that workshop today. I hope they have bagels or something because, I don't know if I get through this whole thing. So that's the other perspective. You either love what you do or you don't. This is Sharon McCarthy, and Sharon is our lead trainer, one of our best trainers at the foundation. And she's been with us for about, 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years.
Put this down. This group has it. I turn my back. What happens? Are they on task or off task? Off task. So now I can turn around, and rather than having to go over the directions again, and what do you go home most exhausted from? Repeating yourself?
Repetition.
Repetition. Oh my gosh. Now, it's visual information is empowering, it's in front of them. All I have to do is say, what did you do last? Okay, what do you have to do next?
So
All
teacher writes the steps.